What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Screenwork Entertainment. We got another episode of Tulsa King Season 2 for you. So we are from Oklahoma, so we do have a unique perspective from this show, even though they're not really filming in Oklahoma this year. So it turns out they're filming in Atlanta. I guess from what I read online, it was just so hot in Oklahoma, and that they just didn't want to deal with the heat. And it has been really hot, so I'm not going to lie. I don't know if that's the truth, but that's what I read online. I also saw it was for financial reasons. I don't know. But it does take some of the aesthetics away, in my opinion.
Well, it makes no sense in my opinion that they're trying to battle the heat and they're like, let's go down south. That's gonna beat the heat. That makes no freaking sense.
What do you think of this season so far?
It's okay. It's not too bad. I'm entertained. I haven't watched enough of it yet to be like, oh wow, this is super awesome. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. There's some acting issues that I'm not really a fan of. Like there's a few scenes where just like Sylvester Stallone just, I don't know, he didn't even look like he cared much, which I've heard a lot, when they were filming season 1 here, that he's an asshole anyway. So I'm sure it's very difficult to work with anyway. Later on in this episode, we get this Frank guy. What's his last name, Dustin?
His name is Bill.
Well, it's Bill in the show, but his real life name is Frank.
Yeah, his real last name is Frank Grillo.
And he reminds me of a modern day Sylvester Stallone. So I feel like they would probably get along great because they're both egotistical maniacs, But I don't know, man. It's okay so far. Nothing too crazy has happened. I feel like the concepts that they're setting up is pretty mundane. They're not crazy. They're not, thinking outside of the box. Kind of generic. I was wanting to see something, oh wow, like I did not expect them to do this. But it's just like with this kind of show going into it, it's very expectable. You can kind of see what they're going to do with it, pretty easily.
Yeah, they're building up Cal and Bill to be the new bad guys this season.
Right. Which, honestly, I love it when a show leaves mystery, where I'm like, I can't see the future of the show based off of episode 1 and 2 of a season,
Like, all shows are as good as Rings of Power, sir.
Oh my God!
So far this season, it seems like they're setting up as Cal, he played by Neil McDough. He's going to be one of the bad guys, and then Bill, which is played by Frank Grillo. I see where they're going with this because they're both like in the marijuana business, and Dwight is wanting to basically move into the marijuana business, and they're all freaking out, getting upset about it, and that's where the show is going. Is that we already know where it's leading to. He's going to get into the marijuana business, and they're going to war over it. Is basically what's going to happen.
Right. Which, honestly, again, I think that is kind of dumb, too, how they're doing this. Like, I feel like it's really dumb to be like, oh, yeah, this guy runs basically Oklahoma's marijuana business. No one else can move in here. It's just like, I don't know, I feel like that's really unrealistic. You're not going to get stuff like that here. I know it's good for the show, but once again, it's just not very creative. It's really not. And the way they're going about it is not very creative either. So,
well, I did like what I thought was creative. Bodie, his app, his marijuana app. That was pretty funny. I did like that. I did like that.
Well, and it's that's what you're going to see more of now that we're using AI. It's funny that they even put that in. They're like, oh yeah, it's AI generated. It's, we're going to see a lot more of that stuff in shows. And it makes sense. Like that's actually like a feasible, plan that you could really put in real life. Like that is not something too far-fetched,
Yeah, yeah. See what kind of marijuana you like best, or is best for you.
Yeah, that way you don't have a panic attack. You're like, oh my God, everyone's gonna die. I'm gonna, freaking out. So it's just it allows people to have a better experience with it, which is cool. Whatever. You know, what I really did think was pretty stupid is when he does go to this party within the show, and he's talking to Cal. Well, he goes up there, and his not really girlfriend, but the girl that he likes, is talking to Cal, and he's like, "Oh, she told me way too much about you." I'm just like, I just felt like that was really stupid. Nothing came of it. Dwight didn't even say anything to her after that. It's just like that was very pointless, I feel like. I mean, all it was is just to let them know that they're gonna have beef now, But
Yeah,
I don't know, the
yeah,
way that
you
they
would
went
have thought
about it was
that
dumb.
because she acted like, hey, I'm good friends with this guy. He knows that you're here and want to introduce you to him, but he got all pissy about it. You would think she would have known, or a better meeting would have came out of it, or he wanted to work with him, or something. But it was just basically, you're right, just to show us that these two guys are going to have beef and we're going to watch them fight it out, basically. Whenever Cal is talking to the lawyer guy, and the guy says, "Hey, Dwight, it's nothing but a pimple on your ass. That's all he is." But he's like, "I don't care. I want him out." And he's right. He really has nothing to fret, nothing to worry about at all. But they're just trying to create some drama where there really shouldn't be any drama.
Right, and that's what I'm talking about, the very uncreativeness about it. It's just like, you would think they would write something that would, make it easier, versus just creating drama out of thin air kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It's just kind of dumb. Like, I wish that there was more depth behind it versus being like, "Oh yeah, I just met you. I hate you. We're going to go to war now, buddy." Like, what? So when when they get done talking, Dwight and Cal get done talking, it shows Tyson walk over to the dinner area where they're serving food. And one of the dishes that he tries to eat, he asks what it is. He's like, "Oh, it's some kind of cicada dish, with a bunch of cicadas." And it makes it feel like, "Oh, this is what we eat in Oklahoma." Like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like, I've lived here my whole life, and I've never seen a cicada dish, ever, in my entire life.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. When I saw that, I'm like, "What is this?" I'm like, "That is disgusting." I don't know what they're hinting at. Like just a random house is going to be serving cicadas and grasshoppers, and
Well,
I'm like, "Come on."
Hold on. Not only are they it's like this fancy, party full of rich people, like really, really rich people, and they're serving cicadas. Like, what? What?
Yeah, come on now. Which I was at a little party the other day. It was like a funeral service type thing, and they were serving some really weird food there that I wasn't going to eat. But it wasn't nowhere on par to cicadas or grasshoppers or anything like that. But I will say this. I have been to a store in Oklahoma. It is certain stores that do serve like scorpions and like candy, right? Or grasshoppers and candy. But you can also buy that stuff online as well. But that I have seen that, but I've never been to someone's house for a dinner party and you see cicadas being served as a dish. I'm like, get out of here.
Especially a wealthy one at that. Like, what? Yeah. I don't know what you're trying to, make people believe about Oklahoma, but it is not true. You need to stop your shit. Stop it.
Yeah, that kind of pissed me off. Like, what is going on here? Yeah, that is utterly ridiculous.
So later on in the episode, they get an idea where they're going to go to this car dealership and steal all these catalytic converters from their vehicles, which I was like, okay, whatever. And then once they do it, the owner of the dealership goes to Dwight and he's like, "Hey, I've had this issue. I need help." And so Dwight's like, "Hey, I will offer you protection, if you give my daughter and whoever a brand new vehicle." And so he's like, "You know what?
I'm pretty sure though he was pretty sure he was saying that though because like he knew Dwight was the one that stole them.
Right. Well, I mean, probably, but what are you gonna do? Like, that's the thing.
Exactly.
Like,
There's nothing. What are you gonna do?
You ask for protection, that way it doesn't happen again. It was kind of funny how they played out. The guy was, you can kind of see that he knew what was up. He's not completely stupid. I just thought it was really funny how they did that. They sold the Cadillac converters. One of Dwight's right-hand man goes back and delivers about half of the Cadillac converters back to him. And he's just talking to him like, "Oh, you're having a great time. I'm such a good dude. We're all great people here, you know? I just thought it was so funny. I was like, what is happening?
Yeah. Yeah, no. And then whenever his right hand man gives him the catalytic converters back, he's like, we'll give him 50% of them back.
Right.
And,
right.
And then he's like, starts asking him about his business. I don't know if it's for him or it's for Dwight, because Dwight didn't seem interested in the business. He seemed interested in, making money off of his business.
Well, and see, that's the thing. I think that might be like, because each individual person has to have their own income to give to Dwight. So I think that's what he's trying to set up for himself. Maybe his own income.
Okay. Yeah, maybe.
All right, guys. So that was our take on episode 2, season 2 of Tulsa King. It's not that bad of a show. It's definitely better than Rings of Power, by far. But if you're looking for a bunch of creativity, it's probably not the show for you. If you're just wanting to be entertained for an hour or so, it's not. It's definitely worth a watch, 100%. It just really depends on what you're trying to get out. Anyway, we appreciate you guys stopping in. See you next week for another episode of Tulsa King. Peace.